Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakhakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here quick article, which has been building in the spirit over, for quite a while now, But ultimately, we know this is how it's going to all end. All right. So as we sit here, we're just watching these prophecies as they come to pass. All right. We're no longer living in those days where it says, hey, look, this is coming to pass. The end is coming. All those things. We in the end days now. All right. All these things are happening right here, right now, man. So, the day of the Lord is not coming no more. We living in the day of the Lord. All right. So we have to get into that mindset. We starting to see all these prophecies coming to pass. All right. So I'm gonna jump into this here quick article and read a couple precepts. This says, this is from RT. It says, U.S. threats over F-35 program dishonor NATO alliance, and Ankara says, all right. Now, as we understand, Ankara is basically like this Turkey, more or less to say, all right. But nevertheless, we've been seeing this brew for a long time. Now, Turkey is a part of NATO, all right. So it says, Turkey has criticized a letter from Washington warning about Ankara's removal from the F-35 fighter jet program, describing the language used in the message as unbecoming of a NATO ally. All right. Hey, that's, America over here. Hey, if you don't do what they say, man, it's just off with your head, more or less to say. All right. It says Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan wrote a letter to his Turkish counterpart, Hulusi Akar, outlining how Ankara would be excluded from the F-35 program unless the Turkish government drops its plan to purchase the Russian-made S-400 defense system. All right. And the big scuffle between the F-35 and the S-400 is basically the S-400 is designed. Well, let me go back. The F-35 is basically like a stealth fighter jet. All right. But the S-400 is pretty much, how do you say it? The S-400 renders the F-35 useless. All right. Because it can basically see the F-35. All right. And also, this is the, how do I say, the defense package to basically fight this thing. So just imagine if, okay, you playing football, right? You got, let's just say, two football teams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Patriots, right? New England Patriots. Now, let's say these two teams are about to face off or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And you studying the team and you watching their plays. You watching videos, so on and so forth. I mean, that's kind of acceptable. But now imagine if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got the New England Patriots playbook, right? And they knew all their code signs and everything else. It will render all their secrets and all their plays and all their certain calls useless, because the opponent would already know what all that means, If they understand what you mean by, if you say like green 32, if they know what the hell that shit means, it's useless for you to be calling out the call names, Or in wartime, they use, you hear the police, they say, we got a 10-5-7-5 or whatever, whatnot, They do the same thing in the military, They Kilo, Alpha, Bravo, whatever, whatnot. Now, if the enemy can understand that, if you're trying to deliver a message to your battle buddies, more or less to say, the people that's on your side, you're trying to deliver a message like, yo, the enemy is over there to the right, you know what I'm saying? But if the enemy can pick up on that and they'll understand, like, all right, these motherfuckers finna come hit us, on the right hand side, but you'll wind up, they have code words, they might wind up saying, I'm just throwing some shit out there, blue house, night skies, and the enemy might not know what the hell that shit mean. That might mean, look, Charlie over there in the bushes, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, going back into this here article, this is why it's such a controversy to have this F-35 with the S-400 system. If Turkey gets this, all right, purchase it from Russia. See, Turkey not really at odds with Russia like that. You see what I'm saying? So, and they be like, well, shit, if we can get a deal from them, we're going to take the deal. All right. But if they both get if Turkey gets both ends of the equipment from both different sides, then what? Russia, they could send some of their people over there and be studying this here plane and reverse engineer it. All right. Find all these weak spots on it. All right. And, really for America, if they were smart, they already know what's coming. But nevertheless, they would be like, go ahead, get the S-400. Now we can sit there and we can dissect it and make our shit better. All right. Continuing on in the article, it says I just read that. It says Shanahan's warning does not suit the spirit of alliance. Akar said, according to the statement released by Turkey's defense ministry and cited by Reuters. He added that Turkey would send a formal response to the letter in the coming days. And I just want to read this here heading on this here article. This came out the other day. I was going to do a lesson on it, but hey, the spirit had it to hold back. until now because there's more meat to it now. All right. It says Turkish pilots grounded from the F-35 training as Ankara refuses to ditch the S-400. The Pentagon says. All right. Now you had some of these people. I believe they was in Arizona or somewhere here stateside. Training in the F-35. Learning how to so-called fly this here plane. But again, you don't want they're your allies right now, but you don't want to train them so good so they understand this whole damn plane, then jump sides to the other company. And then, all right, let me give it to you this way. If you're working for Coca-Cola, right, they have a thing called trade secrets. They'll make you sign an agreement that you won't tell anybody these trade secrets, because why? You can go to work for Coca-Cola, find out how they do their business, find out all the books and everything, how they bid their jobs, and find out the formula for Coca-Cola. Then what? Go over and work for Pepsi and give Pepsi all of their secrets. Now Pepsi can sit there and be like, all right, well shit, if they spending this amount of money on this, we can go and we can offer X amount of dollars to the next person and underbid them. All right. Or we can go and we can change our formula up to combat with that. All right. So this is why you, like, for instance, you wouldn't want a Coke employee to know so much information that he just go and leave and go over to Pepsi. All right. Same thing with this S-400 and the F-35 fighter jets. This is why this is why this is such a big deal. All right. But according to prophecies, this is what's going to happen. All right. Let me continue on. It says Akar noted that he will discuss the issue with Shanahan at a NATO meeting at the end of the month. But that Turkey's position in the matter remains unchanged. Hey, because Turkey's still going to go ahead with this S-400. They already paid for it. They just waiting on delivery. All right. Now, they signed this contract, I believe, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, but they hadn't taken delivery of it yet. All right. It says we will continue to maintain the same attitude and stance, he said. Washington, meanwhile, has started to tighten the screws. The Pentagon confirmed Monday that Turkish pilots have been banned from training the F-35s at Luke Air Force Base in Arizona. All right, so this is what America trying to tighten the noose. Like, look, bro, we ain't playing, bro. We not going to deliver y'all them planes, and we're going to snatch all the shit and the support that we got from y'all if y'all take this here deal. As we getting closer to the deal, all right, y'all acting like y'all don't want to back down. None of y'all pilots can fly our planes no more. We're going to stop training y'all ass, man. All right, because why? We're planning and preparing to take these planes away from y'all and not deliver these here planes to you all. All right, even though they've already invested into this here F-35 plane. All right, it says the U.S. has been pressuring Turkey for months to abandon the deal with Russia to purchase S-400 system, and Ankara has countered the demand by suggesting the creation of a joint work group to alleviate any possible U.S. security concerns. So look, Turkey's like, look, we understand why y'all don't want this to happen, but look, we'll make sure that we ain't gonna give away y'all secrets, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, going back to the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi situation, like, look, bro, I want to work for Coca-Cola, but I understand why you can't trust me, because you know Pepsi offered me a deal as well too. But fuck it, I need a job right now. Look, make sure, I mean, I'm cool. I understand what you want. Just put me in a department where I won't know any of the secrets, man. Make me a janitor or some shit like that. Or, put me around some shit that I can't take from y'all. Or you can monitor me, because I understand what you got going on and I understand what you're afraid of, but I'm not trying to do that to you. So, we can work together on this. I just need a job, more or less to say. This is what Turkey's saying. Like, no, we want this air defense system to protect us. This ain't got shit to do between you and Russia. That ain't even our fight, bro. We not even in this together. But nevertheless, this is going to turn one of America's allies into one of their enemies, all right? It says Russia to start sending S-400 missile system to Turkey in 2 months and has already trained crews, all right? It says, and Ankara has invested $1.25 billion into the $1 trillion F-35 program, producing parts of the fuselage, landing gear, cockpit displays for the jets. Turkey has ordered 100 units of the high-tech aircraft and says that it still expects the planes to be delivered. Because, wow, they didn't already pay for this shit. Now they're expecting this plane to be delivered. Hey, we paid for it. Hey, we want to take delivery of this shit, But ultimately, if that deal falls through, guess what? Russia got a Su-57, which is way better than the F-35 plane. All right, and China has, I forgot what they call it. It's like the XJ something. They have basically, it's the same damn plane as Russia has. I believe Russia might have made the plane. This might be a joint plane made between Russia and China. China may have given them the technology, and Russia pretty much made the plane. But in reality, the F-35 is a program plane. All these planes can communicate with one another. They act as one huge system, all right? However, the Russian planes, these planes are AI, all right? Which they're not really bringing this shit out in the open all like that. But they're playing the Su-57s, these planes are AI basically driven. They don't really need a pilot in the planes, all right? But these planes can also communicate with one another. Now, when you're dealing with this here AI technology, all right, and these, some of these, what they call, quantum computers, all right, like a D-Wave computer, man. These D-Wave, let me give it to you this way. Go on your phone or on your computer, your regular ass computer, right? Go to google.com and search anything, how to tie a tie. Hit enter, and then right up under when the results come back, it'll tell you we've got like 1.25 billion results in 0.04 seconds. Now, you got a regular ass computer at your house, all right? You got a regular ass cell phone at your house. You don't got no quantum computer. This thing can go out and search the whole web and find everything that you put them keywords in, all the websites that got them keywords in there, and bring them back to you in less than 1 second, all right? That's not a quantum computer, all right? Or a calculator, right? You type in the calculator 5 plus 5 and hit enter. See how quick 10 come back. That's not a quantum computer. You see what I'm saying? That's a regular ass, especially a calculator. That's an old ass, some old shit, man. That's some Stone Age type of shit, but it moves super fast, faster, it processes very fast. A quantum computer is so much faster than that. And not only that, you can move things. Let me try to give it to you in an example, right? Let me put it this way. Let's say you own one house in Florida, right? And you have another house in California, right? Now, let's say you're dealing with the AC, right? You got an AC module in your house in Florida, and it's connected to the AC module in the house in California. As you dialing down, turning the temperature down, you hit down, the temperature go down here in Florida. Simultaneously, as you're doing it here, it's going to happen over there, all right? It's like, how do I say? Like you can control, two things in two different places at the same time. Okay, now you might have to watch some videos on this to see how this quantum computer stuff works, or you can also see this in certain type of what they call like hard drive, certain type of servers and things like that, where they have, I believe it's called RAID, RAID or something like that, where it's like let's say you have a 2 terabyte hard drive. I don't know if this is making it simpler for you to understand, but you have a 2 terabyte hard drive. Now you're gonna save only to 1 terabyte. Only the one side of that you're gonna be using to save on. All right, now it's going to back everything up on the second half. So you got 2 terabytes, splitting it in half. You're going to use 1 terabyte for you to actually be saving things on. All right. Simultaneously, as that data is writing on that one side that you're using, it's simultaneously being written on the backup drive at the same time. So you make it one change and it simultaneously happens somewhere else. Or if you have a home computer and a work computer, you at the job and you typing on a document. Let's say you writing a book. Simultaneously, as you're writing on the keys on your work computer, it's simultaneously typing on your home computer. You see what I'm saying? So to put this in perspective, how they're using it in these planes with this AI shit. All right. So now you got a bunch of planes in the sky and you need to do certain things, simultaneously. These things are all working, simultaneously with one another. All right. They all synchronize with one another. So you have an immediate response. All right. You make one change with one of them, it's going to immediately respond to all the other planes. All right. This is where you have these, the advantage of the Su-57, the Russian-made plane, over the F-35 plane, because the F-35, they got simultaneous communications in these things like that, whereas you got one fighter jet that's flying, and let's say somebody's attacking it from behind, but that pilot don't even see that he's getting attacked from behind. There's another plane behind him that's picking this here missile up on radar, but the pilot of that plane ain't even paying attention. That plane there will shoot out a missile to go and protect the other plane without the pilot even knowing about it, without the pilot even engaging in that. He's looking to the left. He don't even see the guy to the right about to get hit with a missile. Neither does that guy. But his radar on his plane picks up that missile, and his plane automatically shoots off to take out that missile. All right. However, the Russian-made plane, all right, like I said, this is all happening simultaneously. All right. The F-35, they have to communicate with one another. They have to update. It's a little slower. It has a little bit more lag time. But the Su-57, the Russian-made plane, they all work in unison, man. Without computing. Not even to say man-made computing or input and things like that. It's automatically processing all this stuff at all points of time, man. Calculating fuel speed and height and targets, your ammunition, your payload. It calculates all that and it puts it into a computer and it makes the best decision, within split seconds, man. All right. Just to give you a understanding of how one plane is far more superior than the other plane, and then why these systems and how these systems here work. All right. And then going into this S400 system, these S3 and 400 systems, man, they pretty much, they're like unmanned. You don't really need nobody around, man. They have these radars that's going off at all points of time, and whenever it picks something up, it automatically communicates to the launchers and it shoots it off, man. All right, what you see in this image is pretty much just the launcher, all right? But they have another truck with the radars and things like that on there, and then another truck with the antenna that's communicating to all these things, man. All right, and simultaneously they pick up and they work as one unit simultaneously without anybody around, all right? Yeah, I've already covered this here, a whole article. Let me grab a couple precepts and then we're going to close out. Because ultimately, this is going to be the downfall of America, and this is what you're starting to see bubble up and boil over with not only just Turkey, but a lot of America's other allies as well too. All right, so I'm gonna read here in Obadiah 1:7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy." All right, now going into a confederacy is more or less like a conglomeration or a group of people. All right, let me see. Oh, fuck it, this way. America. So when you hear about NATO, right? NATO is pretty much led by America, but you could be like, oh, NATO out there fucking with somebody, right? But NATO is not really a country itself. NATO, which stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, all right? Or like the EU, all right? The European Union, all right? That's not one country. That's a bunch of these European countries that then came together, a conglomeration or a confederate. They came in confederate with one another. They basically on one accord with one another. They're on the same side. They didn't band it together, all right? But nevertheless, it says all the men of thy confederacy. So America, they're in confederate with all these other nations. They got all these allies, which you know of as what? NATO and the EU. Now the EU would basically be some European countries. Now NATO would be basically the EU plus like Canada, Turkey. I believe I don't know if Mexico's in there. I have to double check on that. But and also America, right? Because see, America's not part of the EU. But they all confederate with one another. You see what I'm saying? So it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. All right. They didn't brought your ass to the damn line, bro. They brought you up to, hey, let me put it this way. You gang banging in the streets, right? Little Boo Boo is gang banging in the street. Boo Boo then went down the block and then had some beef with some niggas down the block and shit, right? The niggas down the block want to beat Boo Boo's ass, but Boo Boo is, like I said, he gang banging, right? So he got his homies. He gonna call out the bird call or whatever. Now his homies then came down the block. You done brought they ass down to some trouble now. Now we got to go over here and start fighting. Now we got beef with these motherfuckers we ain't even had beef with, but because your ass done stirred up the hornet's nest and we in confederate one another, you my brother, we gonna ride together and die together. Whatever your problem is my problem. So because you done went out there and stirred up the hornet's nest, we got to come to the front line and fight it out with your ass. You see what I'm saying? So this is what America's doing with all their damn allies, man. Is if you go back in history and you watching how America move, man, this is what they've been doing throughout the whole time, and this is what's starting to make, we're going to grab it as well. This is starting to make the beast hate the whore, man, which is NATO and the EU, more or less to say. This is the fucking machine that America is riding on, all right? America, well, going into Esau, but we just talking about America here. America, well, Esau's blessing is the sword, all right? America has, not to say really the best military, especially nowadays with Russia, but America has a very dominating military, all right, alone by itself. All right. But nevertheless, you really got Russia and China and I want to say India and really Iran that really they can go toe to toe, standing on their own. But when you have America with NATO and the EU, man, it's like it's like 100 on, not to say 100, but it's like, as an analogy, it's like 30 on 1, bro. You ganging up on people, man. And then they have these little treaties and these things signed in the legislation where it's like, yo, if you fuck with one of us, you fucking with all of us. You see what I'm saying? So this also puts it in the minds of these other nations like, yo, yeah, we got problems with this little nigga over here, which ain't America, but these little niggas over here, we got problems with them. But we know if we fuck with this little nigga that his big brother finna come out, we gonna have problems with the whole squad, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Or you not a gangbanger, but you got beef with this nigga that's gangbanging, but you can whoop his ass, but it's not gonna just be him you gotta whoop his ass. You got the whole fucking gang to fight, bruh. They're not gonna let that shit go like that, all right? But ultimately, what? The gang members is tired of this one nigga that's coming around like, bruh, we always got to come to the front lines and defend your ass because you can't keep your fucking mouth closed. You want to run through the whole school and selling everybody out, walking down the hall. Yeah, pussy nigga, fuck nigga, oh bitch ass nigga. And now everybody want to fight your ass. We don't got beef with everybody. We all smooth sailing. We ain't confrontational, but your ass keep running around talking shit to everybody. Now we got to keep fighting all the goddamn time, bro. I'm tired of getting suspended for fights that I got to fight over your ass. And that's what these other countries are saying right now. Because why? They have to use resources. Their soldiers are dying, the morale of their country going down, constantly being at war, constantly bombing people, man. This break down the morale of people, man. Hey, being here in America, man, just constantly bombing motherfuckers, man. I mean, I'm gonna just say for Jake, man, because Esau love that shit, but just, bruh, what you think about it, like, bruh? Like, let's, for some of us in our time, how do I say, the time we've been living here on this earth, all right? Like for me, myself, in the 30 some odd years I've been on this here earth, you know what I'm saying? Mainly I can remember, after September 11th, right? Those wars have been happening. But damn, that's been about we in 2019, we started in 2001. That's been damn near 18 years of constant war, bro. You know what I'm saying? Constantly bombing motherfuckers day in and day out, 24 hours a damn day, man. You can turn on the news and see there's another motherfucking dead person over there. A bunch of dead babies over there, man. That shit weighs down on my spirit heavy, man. We just constantly killing people, bro, for no reason, bro. That's fucked up. So these are the tolls that it's taking on people. Not only that, bro, you got to constantly keep feeding your military with able-bodied people to keep going into the damn military and fighting all these damn wars, man. You got to constantly keep raising taxes to keep feeding this damn machine, man. You got to constantly, how do I say, keep propagandizing your people to okaying them to go to war. Not only that, you got to pick up all the blowback that come from it. Over there in Europe and shit, all the shit we done did in the Middle East. Where you think all them immigrants is going? Over to Europe and shit. This is why these motherfuckers over there talking about, man, we got to build these fences. We got to keep these immigrants out and so on and so forth. But who was the main person that brought their happy ass over there? It was the Americans, all right? The Americans brought their happy ass over there and said, look, we finna go bomb first. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go over there and bomb all these motherfuckers over here. But guess what? Who gonna have to pay the ultimate price? The Europeans. Because when those people who don't want to be involved in that conflict, they gonna start walking, man. And what's closer to them to get to? It's closer for them to get to Europe and shit. Take these little small boats and shit and right over there to Europe. You know what I'm saying? Because what? The top of Africa and shit, what they call the Middle East. All right. When you go directly north from that is what? Europe. All right. So it's not that far from them to be constantly going over to Europe. So they're the ones getting all the blowback, man. They're the ones getting all those immigrants going over there after having their country fucked up. It's like, yo, y'all part of the problem while we over here anyway. So fuck y'all. Y'all don't give a fuck about our place. We don't give a fuck about y'all place, man. All right. And you making all these people, you raising up all their damn spirits, man. All right. But continuing on, it says, verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee, Salak, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. All right, because why? Let me go back and read that again. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So to put this in perspective, this is talking about, I'm not going to say Esau, but America, because really, damn near all of the EU is Edomites, all right? But we're going to just break it down like this. The Americans, right? It says, all the men of thy confederacy, so just talk to America, have brought thee even to the border, all right? So all their allies, all of America's allies have brought you to the border. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All your allies starting to deceive you, all right? It says, and they that eat thy bread laid a wound under thee. There's no understanding in him, all right? So what? Who are the men that are eating their bread? Their allies, right? America is the main supplier of weapons. I believe America's known for 3 great exports. I believe number 1 maybe, well, I guess when you're talking in dollars and cents, it would be military arms, all right, weapons. America's number 1 export dollar-wise is weapons. I think number 2, and really is number 1 because the amount of it that goes out is porno. All right, and I forgot what number 3 was, but nevertheless, it's shit that really fucking up the whole planet Earth. All right, so what? America's selling out all these arms to everybody else, man. You know, the NATO and the EU, basically all their whole arsenal, all they guns. You know, when you know, if you've ever played any of these war video games, right? You know, what do they call it? Like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and shit like that, man. If you ever played any of these war games, it's SOCOM kind of old school, but. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any of the other games they got out, but nevertheless, when you play these damn games and stuff like that, right, where you have the American side versus like whatever other side, you know, sometimes it'll be like America versus Russia, all right? If you pick the American side and you go through the weapons, all right, you'll see certain, like if you read the type of ammo that they have in there, they'll say like a NATO 5. I'm not really good in the, you know, weapon calibers and all that shit, but they'll have like the NATO round size. It'd be like a NATO 5 point whatever whatnot. You know, you can either use the normal American round or the NATO round, because why? NATO, and what they do this because it's interchangeable. All right, you can use this round in a lot of different things. All right, and America is the one that's producing all these things. All right, so what? America is feeding all his allies this here bread. What is the bread? The weapons, all right? All their allies, like, this part of the deal. Hey, man, join NATO and the EU. Join these things that we got going forth, and we're going to take care of you, bro. We're going to make sure you're going to have the top of the notch weaponry, all the new systems, all this new shit. Bro, you don't even got to build weapons. You ain't even got to invest in all that. All you got to do is buy it from us. We'll give it to you for a good deal, and you'll have the top of the line shit, all right? And this is what wound up happening in Turkey, man. Because when you look at a lot of these countries, there's not very many countries that, A, produce military weapons, and B, you know, mainly everybody around the world is buying weapons from other people, all right? Not very many countries have the technology to develop weapons, all right? Mainly, I think you got Russia, China, Let me see, Russia, China, and America, and possibly India are like the only people that really make weapons. All right, but nevertheless, America's the #1 supplier of the whole globe of weaponry. All right, so they're the ones feeding their allies this here bread. All right, but what does the scripture say? It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There's no understanding in him. So let's go back into this here wound. Let's just see how this here plays out. You got America. One of their allies is Turkey in the NATO alliance, all right? But guess what? Turkey talking about, we finna buy this S-400. Like I just broke down to you, the S-400 and the F-35, bro, you can't have these shits together because the S-400 strong arm is that we can see your stealth fighter jet. All right, now the F-35 strongness or strong arm is what? We're a stealth fighter jet. You can't really see this shit with your radars and everything else. All right, but guess what? If you have the F-35 with the S-400, you can just update it with a software update to just pick it out. All right, just like one of the brothers, one of the brothers in the camp I bought, you know, he wound up sending me an article, which I wound up seeing this here article. He was kind of inquisitive, asking some questions about why do they want this and that, you know? And I wound up telling him a little bit about this here system. You know, there's like, why did America take some of their own fighter jets, American-made fighter jets, and paint them with the Russian, like a Russian paint scheme, all right? And I was telling them, like, yo, with some of their new systems, all right, what they call, like, photo, like, you know, by, how do I put this? With these cameras and shit like that, they can identify certain things. You know, they have these cameras like at the red lights and shit like that. With, if you go into the Argus system, all right, or the Chinese social system, all right, they look down on you and they can be able to identify all the human beings walking by. They can be like, that's a human, that's a car, that's a bike, that's a bird. They can identify all these things. And the way this system works is by what? They fed the computer so many different images, you know, like of dogs, right? They didn't fed the computer billions and billions of maybe not that many, but so many different images of dogs that it can sit there and learn what dogs look like. So whenever it pick up that same image, it'll know this is a dog. All right. So what? America painted one of their fighter jets in the Russian paint scheme of their fighter jets. So what? They can train their systems to be able to detect these fighter jets and be able to recognize them and shoot them down. All right, this is how these here systems work. But guess what? That snare is still laid up under you because why? Turkey has bids with Russia, or they've actually bought. They just waiting on the delivery of this S-400 system again, which is the weak spot for the F-35. Now, America's in a hard spot because look, Turkey's not no little bullshit country just like that. How do I put this? That they just want to lose as an ally because Turkey is a big ass landmass in the right fucking location in the middle of all the conflicts where they got going on. So what? They can fly their jets in there, stock a lot of their arsenal over there. All right. We have nuclear missiles over in Turkey. We also have fucking air bases. We got a lot of shit in Turkey, man. We got those B-52 bombers over there. We got, like I said, nuclear missiles over there. We can launch everything from over there, man. That's a great space for us to have a lot of our shit, or it's a great space for these Americans to have a lot of their shit. But guess what? If Turkey gets this S-400 system, you know, it's not that easy for America just to be like, well, fuck y'all niggas, we cutting y'all off. Because really, America's cutting their damn self off if they do that, all right? So they just bolster in with these threats, all right? But nevertheless, that's that snare that's laid up under them. Like, all right, bro, if you want to pull out and take away your goddamn planes, no problem, give us a refund. I'm sure Russia would have no problem selling us their planes. Now we got the Russian-made planes. Now we got the S-400 system. What you gonna do, bring your fucking F-35s over here, bro? You know that this shit can shoot that shit down, so what you really talking about, bro? I mean, I'm not really losing it all, bro. I'm not taking no L's. Your ass is the one that's taking some L's, all right? So now you're starting to see how America is, these Edomites, but these Americans are falling into the snare that the Most High laid for their ass, all right? There's no way out for Esau, all right? If I could think of the damn article or the video where Vladimir Putin was like, he was pleading to the American people, yo, talk to your mans in them, man. Tell this nigga to calm down. We going down the slope where there ain't no coming back from this shit, bro. We don't want to murk y'all ass, but I'm telling you, bro, this nigga keep pushing. We ain't got no choice, bro. And we pleading with you American citizens, bro. We don't want to kill y'all, but look, talk to your mans in them. If not, it's going to be over for them. But guess what? This is that snare that's laid forth before these Edomites here in America. Because why? They're going to be brought to their damn destruction. All right? Let me just continue on reading this, and then I'm going to grab another precept. We'll close out. Obadiah 1:7. all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that, now I'll speak on that in the next precept. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there's no understanding in him. Esau don't understand. He be like I said, bro, we gonna threaten y'all by taking the F-35 away from y'all. We don't give a fuck, nigga. We not taking no loss. Russia will be more than happy to sell us their goddamn planes. You know, take your nukes back. We don't give a fuck. Russia will be more than happy to bring that shit over here too, man. We've been holding y'all shit for so long, bro. Like, we not really taking no loss, bro. We only get, we stuck between a blessing and another blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we're not really America with a blessing, but we straight with y'all shit. But guess what? If you want to pull y'all shit, we can get some better shit, bro. We ain't taking no L's over here, bro. Your ass will be out of business because you don't really have a nice place to, like when we was over there in Syria bombing all goddamn day, right? Damn, I hope them ain't gunshots. When we was over there bombing in Syria, when we was bombing in Iraq, when we was bombing in Afghanistan, when we was there's another place we was over there bombing too. But nevertheless, what is that? Yemen? No, we weren't leaving from there from Yemen. But nevertheless, when not only we were bombing Syria and stuff like that, but NATO, you know, the American allies, they was taking off from Turkey. All right, this was like, yo, it's a 15-minute flight, bro. We can take off, fly over there, bomb their ass, be back in 30 minutes, bro. No big deal. All right, this is saving America from having to take off from here in America, fly all the way over to the other side of the globe, and then go over there and try to bomb their ass, and then have to turn back around and go reload on ammo and then come right back. Like, nah, if it's only a 15-minute flight, bro, we can go fly, come back, go fly, come back all damn day, bro. We could be doing this shit all day, and we ain't really losing nothing. You see what I'm saying? So what? America's the only one that's losing out here, all right? This is, I don't know why this motherfucker is popping off, and he like right there, too. Nevertheless, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Right, see, Turkey, they had peace with America. You know, that's one of their allies. But what? They deceived you by taking this S-400 deal, all right? And prevailed against thee. That's going to be the end-all, be-all. I'm going to grab another precept. I just came to my mind. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. That wound is what? If you pull out of this, if America pulls out of this F-35 deal with Turkey, hey, bro, America's fucked out of that deal. You know, he's like, you know how some people try to threaten other people, you know what I'm saying, with certain things, like, you know, maybe you're in a relationship. If you don't get right, I'm going to leave your ass. You know what I'm saying? And the other person, you know, they normal response, all right, I'm going to get right. But the other person's response is like, yo, if you don't get right, I'm going to leave your ass. So, bitch, leave. I got 5 other bitches over here waiting to take your place. You know what I'm saying? The other person going to be like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have hit you with that. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm really just assed out. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to Ezekiel 38 real quick. I'm going to just read it all the way through. Ezekiel 38, verse 1 through 7, I believe. It says, and the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen. All right, now, this is talking about Russia being brought back to the military state. You know, when it was the USSR, the United Soviet States of Russia. All right, when you know what they call them, the Red Scare, whatever, whatnot, the Soviet Union. All right, when they was at that point in time, there was this big, how do I put this? There was this big military beast, more or less to say. All right, and at that point in time, shit, you had 3 dominating militaries on the planet Earth. Really 2. You had Russia and you had Germany, all right, Nazi Germany. Those was like your 2 goddamn, Joseph Stalin and Adolf Hitler. They had the most dominating militaries at that point in time, all right. America really came up at the end of all of that by basically taking all the German scientists and basically everybody from Germany, you know what I'm saying, and it basically became they shit. This is when America really came up with the nuclear bombs and so on and so forth, all right. Hitler had that shit first, but speaking on Russia, they was that big dog on the block at that point in time, you know, between them and Germany, all right. But nevertheless, you know, I believe it was in the 80s where Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev, they had came to this agreement where it was where, you know, Reagan was like, bring down that wall. You know, they basically had the fall of the USSR. All right. The USSR broke up. You know, it was a conglomeration of different nations together. All right, if you look at a map of the USSR and then you look at a map of Russia, maybe not today, maybe 5-10 years ago, all right, you look at a map between the USSR and Russia, you will see that the map of Russia is a lot smaller than the map of the USSR, all right, because they had other nations along with them, like I believe Bulgaria, Slovakia, some of those nations that's right there on the Russian border. But now when you look at it, you'll see these are different nations on their own, all right, and then you have Russia beside there, all right. But now, since what is his name, Vladimir Putin came into office, this is when we read in here in Ezekiel 38:4, which says, "I'll turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws." All right, as the fall of USSR happened, America was, in the Cold War time. Really, we was at war with Russia at that point in time, and we wound up defeating Russia at that point in time. All right, it wasn't a hot war. Now we had somewhat of a proxy war with them over in Afghanistan. That was when the creation of Al Qaeda happened. America created Al Qaeda to fight a proxy war with Russia over in Afghanistan. I believe in like the 90s or some shit like that. That's where they got Osama bin Laden from. But nevertheless, going back into this, when you go back and you look at Russia before Vladimir Putin and after Mikhail Gorbachev, all right, or after Mikhail Gorbachev all the way up to the time of Vladimir Putin, Russia had failed. Russia was a hellhole country. It was a third world country, more or less to say, all right, or a second and a half world country, all right. Their economics failed. They was broke as shit, all right. Their military was dusty as fuck. The only thing they really had that was really good was what they called the dead hand system, where they don't need any human beings over there to launch a retaliation strike to launch all their damn missiles. All right. Other than that, they was the second. They was pretty much tied with America with the largest arsenal of nuclear weapons. But however, their shit was all old and out of date. All right. So their country had really failed, and morally, their country had failed because they turned them out to all be atheists and shit. So America was working on their ass in the Cold War time and fucked them all up. All right. Now, when Vladimir Putin came into office, this is those hooks being put back into their jaws. All right. The economics came back up. They started internationally trading and internationally supplying people around the world. I'll get to the military. The economy came back up. They started rebuilding everything over there in Russia and building up their infrastructure over there in Russia. All right. Getting natural resources. Now they got the Nord Stream 2 pipeline they trying to build and service Europe. All right, with oil and stuff like that. Because why? They don't really have a lot of oil over there in Europe. They don't really have any resources over there in Europe. All right, but nevertheless, Russia is trying to sell them oil over there, and they want to buy the oil from Russia because why? It's coming from a shorter distance. It's a lot cheaper, and it's a better quality than having to buy it through America. But what? America don't want that to happen because they don't want to have everybody be dependent on Russia. They be like, why are we even paying America? Because we good with these motherfuckers. Everything is better and it's closer, and we're getting a better deal, and we don't have to take all this blowback from y'all bombing every damn body. All right. So what? America don't want that to happen. All right. But what? Russia is dusting his dust off his shoes and is building itself up. You know what I'm saying? Now he's being a so-called productive citizen amongst these other nations. All right. Now they being able to produce and provide for other nations. All right. This is the hooks being brought back into the Russian jaws. All right. Now militarily, like I said, bro, after the Cold War, they wasn't shit. Their military was to hell. They couldn't really fight no war, win no war against nobody. All right. I want to say in 2008, maybe a little bit before that, Russia had a conflict with, I believe, Georgia. All right. Which is right there on their doorsteps. All right. Like the Georgia, like we always talk about the Caucasus Mountains where these Caucasians come from. That's what they named after. All right. This is where they tried to take that place over there. And I believe they were struggling over there with like such a small country, man. That's like America versus Cuba. And then we over here struggling with Cuba. Like, how the fuck can you not bomb? How can you not? Bro, you can go over there with one nuclear bomb and drop that bitch in the middle and all Cuba's disappeared. You know what I'm saying? This should be over in 30 minutes. But what? If we over here struggling with them on and on and on, it's showing you the grade of your military, all right? But now, as you see, Russia is the big dog on the block now, all right? They're the number one supplier of weapons, or they had, not the number one supplier, they had the top of the line weaponry to be selling to all these other people. Like I said, their Su-57 fighter jet is way superior than the F-35 fighter jet. The S-400 system, or their S-series missile defense systems, the S-300, the S-400, they developed an S-500 Prometheus system, the S-700, which the S-700 shit is global. They could be in Russia and they can hit your damn nukes before they even take off about the ground-based launch pads, man. They can hit your ass before them bitches even come out. You see what I'm saying? They don't really talk too much about the S-700 system, all right? But really, they can hit anywhere on the globe, all right, and hit you on a land base. They don't even have to wait for you to launch that shit, all right? But nevertheless, America has a counterpart to that. It's called the THAAD system, all right? And you see this, I believe it's called the Terminal High Altitude aerial defense system. All right, THAAD. All right, now the American THAAD system, which it technically is a little bit better. What they would say is technically better because the American system is basically an offensive and a defensive system. All right. Not only is it just going to shoot off to defend itself, you know what I'm saying, or defend the airspace around it. All right. You can also launch these bitches off to use it as a launcher. All right. We just want to shoot and hit some shit with it. All right. But the Russian made one, really all they got to do is do a software update, and then basically you can have an offensive and a defensive system. But the Russian made one is basically only defensive at the time. But like they said, all we got to do is go in with a system update and put it in, you know, like if you got iPhones or whatever, whatnot, or whatever kind of updates, like, oh, we got the 4.0 is out, click here to download, you know. That's all they got to do. All right. But nevertheless, let me go back into verse 4. It says Ezekiel 38:4, it says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen. Here's the key part here. All of them clothed with all sorts of armor. All right. They got all sorts of armor. This is why you got the S125, the S200, the S300, the S400. They developing the S500. They developing the S700. All right. And we don't even know if they got any more than that. All right, they might have some other shit more than that. All right, but nevertheless, they got all sorts of armor. Back in the days, you have your, you know, like in the movie 300, they got those arm shields, right? That's going around them. Now in the movie 300, they was like, I think the dude's name was Ben Haddad. It was like, our arrows will blot out the skies, and then the other dude was like, well, shit, we'll fight in the shade. All right, now when they actually shot off all those damn arrows at them, they had all these incoming arrows. What they do? They stood back behind these shields, and the arrows hit the shields, and it took all the brunt force from it. And they just knocked it off, and they wasn't even hit by it. All right. Now to fast forward that in today's time, what is a bow and arrow? All right. A bow and arrow is a long range weapon. All right. You can shoot somebody and hit them from a distance. All right. It fly through the air. It's a long range weapon. When you fast forward in the history, what is your long range piercing weapon? All right. It's called basically a missile. All right. It's the same shit, same design, everything the same with it. All right. It's just a long range modern day bow and arrow. All right. So you have the old shields like in the movie 300. What do you think you're going to have in modern days today? You have your missile defense systems, all right, which is like these S series missile systems or the THAAD system, all right? They have a radar. The radar is scanning the area. Whenever it see an incoming projectile, it alerts one of these launchers, and then the launcher go off and it hit it inside the air, all right, in the air. It shoots it out of the air, all right? So it says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Now it says with a great company. All right. Now I'm bringing this here out because wow, we was talking about how Turkey has got America in a fucked up spot because America trying to threaten Turkey. I give you the analogy I gave earlier. You got basically a dude, Money Mayweather or some shit like that, right? Who got all the money. He taking care of this chick. You was like broken homeless and shit. Now you talking about something. If you don't show me some attention or whatever, I'm going to leave your ass. And he like, bitch, I don't give a damn. Take your happy ass on. I got all these women trying to get with me. I'm the one provider for you. If you leave me, what am I going to lose? But if you leave me, what are you going to lose? You see, you the one losing out. I ain't losing. I'm Mayweather. We good. Go ahead and lose. America's in that position now. Like, oh, if you don't want to deal with us, we going to leave you. Okay, go ahead. You gonna take your weapons with you? Go ahead. Cool. We got Russia. They finna supply us with weapons anyway. And according to the scripture, that's what's gonna happen anyway. We reading it right now. All right. It says, going back, it says, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And it's not to say ironic, but hey, it's just the spirit of the Lord that what Russia's main export of weapons right now is not really offensive weapons, it's defensive weapons. Even though Russia got the shit when it comes to offensive weapons. They got that Avangard hypersonic missile. They got nuclear powered cruise missiles. They got that Satan II intercontinental ballistic missile, man. They got all kind of new shit, man. And America ain't got shit to defend themselves against this, man. They can't. They THAAD system cannot defend themselves against the bombardment of all the nuclear warheads that come up out of them damn Satan II missiles, the Satan 1 or the Satan II missiles, man. They can't protect themselves against a bombardment of those things, all right? They can't protect themselves against a hypersonic missile, man, all right? So at the end all be all, Russia got the upper hand. And they're going to be supplying these other nations with not only defensive weapons, but they're going to also have them have their back. They're going to be the head over these other nations in what we call World War III. They're going to be the ones supplying them with weapons, all right? So going into the nation that they're going to be supplying weapons up to, it says Persia. Number one, Persia is the modern day name for Persia is Iran. All right. So like you want to go look on a map, they still got the Persian Sea. Where's the Persian Sea? Right. What country? What country? Let me put it this way. What is the body of water that is the coastal body of water on Iran? The Persian Sea, all right? You go back in the history, you find out what Persia is. It's Iran, like Jake say, oh, I got these Persian rugs in my house. You got some Iranian rugs in your house, man. All right, it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. See, just keep talking about these shields, all right? Helmets, top, protecting your head or from the top, man. Missiles are going to be raining down from you from the top coming down in. But what? You got these missile defense systems to knock them up out the sky, all right? It says Gomer and all his bands in the house of Tomar of the north quarters, and all of his bands and many people with thee. All right, that's talking about what? Syria and Turkey. What happened in Syria? What slowed down the bombardment of Syria? What stopped them from trying to overthrow Bashar al-Assad in Syria, man? Because that was the objective with America when they took their red ass over there. They was like, you know what? He's a brutal dictator that's killing all of these people. We gotta get this man out of office. We not leaving until he get up out of office, man. And he killing, his protesters over there. Now you got these terrorists or whatnot. But we want to get him out of office as well too. You know what I'm saying? First thing first, we want to calm out the problem and get rid of the terrorists, but we want to get rid of him. Now they got to the point to where it's like, well, we don't really give a fuck if he's still over there in office because of why? Russia went over there with that S-300 system, all right, when Israel was over there bombing their ass all the damn time and shit like that. They put that S-300 system over there and Israel was all tripping. They was all mad and America was like, yo, man, what's going on? What y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't do this. If y'all put that out there, we're going to just go ahead and bomb it. Russia was like, yo, that's our equipment. You bomb our equipment. That's like bombing us. You really want these problems? America had to tuck their tail and go the fuck home. That's why we're not really over there no more. This is why Trump was like, oh, we got to remove our troops, man. Oh, we got ISIS down to this one little last corner. The problem is done. Well, that was basically a fail over there for you because you didn't get the objective that you wanted. Bashar al-Assad is still on the throne over there, man. All right. But nevertheless, these systems is rendering these America and their allies are doing their duties. All right. It's pushing them back a little bit. All right. So it says, verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, talking to Russia. All right, this is why you see them upgrade their weapons and all their different things, man. This, like I said, when Vladimir Putin came into office, those hooks was put into their jaws. They was being brought back. They was upgrading all their shit, man. Now they got the most advanced military on the planet Earth, man, with all their shit, man. All right, it says, be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. All right, so not only is Russia preparing their own self and their own military arsenal, they're preparing their allies as well too. So like I said, Turkey is not really a nation, or either Syria, they're not really nations that produce military arms or military weapons. If anything in their arsenal that they got as far as military weapons, none of that come from them. You see what I'm saying? So they ain't really developing none of this shit. All right, but nevertheless, Russia is going to be the guard unto them. They're going to be the ones preparing not only for themselves, but for these other nations. All right. Let me grab my last precept. We're going to close out. This Revelation 17 and 16, I believe it is. All right. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, all right, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right. For the Most High has put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. All right. Now let me just read the last verse. And the woman which thou sawest that is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. It's talking, America is that whore. If you go back up to the very top, it's talking about a whore. All right. And this whore is riding on this here beast, which I was, roughly paraphrasing it and giving you in earlier analogies. Now, the beast is basically NATO and the EU. All right. So America is riding on this here beast and conquering every damn body with what? Not only them, they the one controlling the beast. Give it to you this way. America's that whore, or put it this way. America is the horseman riding on the horse. All right. The horse is the one doing the majority of the work. The horse is the one getting tired. He the one running all damn day. The horseman is the one directing the horse on what to do and where to go, how fast to run and when to jump, when to stop. All right. So America is basically the horseman directing the horse where it needs to go. All right. So America is the whore. All right, or the horseman, and NATO and the EU is the beast or the horse that the whore or the horseman is riding on. All right. So going back to verse 16, it says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. How they gonna burn her with fire? First and foremost, this is the place where it's gonna never be inhabited again. The Most High is gonna basically turn this whole place into a pile of ashes, man. Or let me rephrase that. The Most High is going to turn this place into the lake of fire, as the scriptures say. All right. Now, all these other nations, they're going to stand round about and they're going to burn her with fire. Let me try to grab that as one more precept and close out. Jeremiah 50 and 9. This is Jeremiah 50 and 9. For lo, I will cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. We just read about that conglomeration that's going to be with Russia. Prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that's basically assembled unto you. All right, that conglomeration of nations. So here it says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. The north country is speaking about Russia. All right. So this here country is going to is going to be the head, and it's going to have a tail, or, you know, it's going to be leading a bunch of other nations into this here battle. All right. So it says, for lo, I will raise the cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her from thence. You know, key word, you know, from thence. That means they're going to be using, you know, these intercontinental ballistic missiles. When you read further on into these arrows and go precept upon precept, you know, reading about these here arrows, but nevertheless, it says from thence she shall be taken. All right. Now, what weapon does Russia have that they can launch from Russia to hit America? All right. Only they what they call ICBM, or intercontinental ballistic missiles. Intercontinental means from one continent to another continent. All right. So from one landmass to another landmass, from the north country, it says from thence she shall be taken. Now, the shortest path for Russia to launch their missiles onto America is not from east to west or from west to east. All right. They need to go north, up north over Russia. They go north over Russia. The shortest distance from America to Russia is over the North Pole, and to rain back down, you know, through Canada from the north. You know, it's going to rain down from that way. All right. Nevertheless, they can also basically hit us, or the U.S. on the west coast from, you know, their, how do I put this? Their westernmost part, I guess. All right. Well, I think that would be their easternmost part is closer to our westernmost part, where you had Sarah Palin types of, I can see Russia from my backyard. I believe it's not that far of a distance from Alaska to Russia, man. All right. But nevertheless, really, their shortest route is over the North Pole. All right. So it says, for lo, I will raise the cause to come up from against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country. They shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. All right. Because why? Each and every last one of these warheads that's inside these missiles, they're going to hit their mark. All right. They got smart technology, smart bombs. They're going to hit their mark, man. Hey, going into that Satan II missile, man, you can shoot something at it and try to hit it and knock it out the sky, but your missile that you're going to shoot at it, you only got one time to shoot that bitch off. Once you done dialed in its path that it's going to take, you can't change the path of that missile that you just shot off. However, the Satan II missile, the difference between it and the Satan 1, not only can you have multiple more warheads than the Satan 1 missile, and also some decoys in there, this here missile, once it's been shot off and, you know, you've already programmed the target that you're going to hit. Once this thing is shot off, you can change its path while it's in the air fight. It'll change its own path once it detects that somebody done shot off a missile to try to knock it out the sky. Because again, the missile that's launched at it is already on a pre-planned path. So what? It can sit there and change direction. All right, you're going to hit me at this here altitude. Let me raise up a little bit. Or you've already calculated that I'm traveling at this speed, so you're going to meet me at this location at that time. Let me slow down a little bit. All right, that one then missed, and y'all shot off another one. Let me move to the left a little bit. Let me move to the right a little bit. All right, none of them gonna return in vain. You ain't gonna shoot off no missiles. Like, oh, that was a dud, that was a miss. Nah, every last one of these missiles is gonna be shot off. Is target hit, target hit, target hit, target hit. Every last one of them. All right. I think there's one more I want to grab in here real quick. Verse 14: Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh. All right. Was there one more? That was pretty much it. But nevertheless, oh man. Let me read verse 24 and 24 through 26. 23 through 26. Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? Now, what is the hammer of the whole earth? Basically, the American-led military. I'll just put it that way, because you got, you know, America, NATO, and the EU, but it's basically being led by America, like we was going into the horde that's riding on the beast. The horse is only going where the horseman is directing it to. All right, you got you a riding lawnmower or a riding tractor. You know, the lawnmower's cutting all the grass, doing all the work, doing all the devouring, but The lawnmower is only cutting in the direction that you're steering it in, all right? So it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? That hammer of the whole earth is basically America, all right? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? It says, I have laid a snare for thee. Thou art taken, O Babylon, thou was not aware. Thou art found and caught because thou hast striven against the Most High. So look, the Most High laid a snare for these these Americans. I was going to say these Edomites, but really for these Americans, all right? And they're going to basically be caught in their own trick bag, all right? Going into that, a couple things. They gave everybody not going too far off topic, but they gave everybody damn smartphones with all these damn cameras on there so they can be watching us and then be keeping tabs on us, spying on us. But what? The Lord then made this a snare to their ass, and also the internet and the YouTube. Because why? Now you go try to do some propaganda and some shit, try to lie about some shit on the news and the media. Everybody out there streaming, they can look, this is what's really going on, man. We showing you what's really going on with this here thing, all right? But nevertheless, you the one creating all these damn missiles and all these damn bombs, but it's gonna be your downfall, all right? Not only that, you know, you got, how do I say, your military spread in all these different nations. You got all these allies around the damn earth, but you ain't really been treating them so well. All your allies with all these weapons that you got, you didn't show them all your secrets. Guess what? They're going to turn on you, bro. That's going to be the hardest ally to fight, is somebody that knows so much about you, man. All right. Verse 25, Yahweh has opened his armory and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. So what? These thermonuclear missiles, they weren't created to go in no museum, man. These were created as the Lord's weapons of his indignation, and it was created, this is the purpose of it, all right, to destroy Babylon, all right, to destroy this here land off the planet Earth, man. Every last one of them missiles going to be dropped down over here, rendering this place into the lake of fire, man. All right, so what? You think that these nuclear missiles don't exist, they ain't real, and so on and so forth, they're a scare tactic? We'll find out on that day, man. Tell me how that fire feel, man. Matter of fact, you ain't going to be around to tell me how that fire feel, bro. You see what I'm saying? But with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this here was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us this here truth and that rule well. And citation, much love for you, I can push his truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.